action.
Well, hi, this is Sirce Kwai Giveon, and I am at DaggerWing Nature Center bringing art and science to you. And in my hand, I've been waiting for this all month. I have a little baby alligator, and I love him already. Oh, now what he has on his face is to keep him from biting me. Not that I think he would really hurt me at this point, but we don't want that to even be a guessing game with my fingers, because I really love my fingers, all 10 of them. But now, speaking of fingers, he has 4 on the back claws. Did he lose one?
No, he's only got 4 toes on the back feet and should have 5 toes on each front feet.
Now, Mr. Sean Mallee, who is our naturalist at DaggerWing Nature Center, just said that he has 4 toes. Why is that?
It's just the way they come.
I mean, his mommy forgot to give him another toe on each foot?
Not all animals have 5 fingers or 5 toes.
Really? Wow, I thought that that was just part of being on Earth.
No.
No, I guess not. I guess it's just not an earthy kind of thing to do. Now, he is an American alligator, a Floridian alligator. What is he exactly?
American alligator.
Whoopsie, whoopsie, your nose fell off, your nose. Whoopsie, oh, there we go. Ooh. It looks like a Band-Aid. Honestly, it looks like a big old Band-Aid, and he's not happy that I'm going to put it back on here, but, you know, we have to play for safety. And so he's an American alligator. Are they still endangered?
They are not endangered. However, they are considered a species of special concern here in Florida because there is an endangered species that looks very similar to the American alligator called the American crocodile.
But they don't live in the same place, do they?
Sometimes their habitat will overlap, so you can sometimes find them actually living in the same environment. And it's the only place in the entire world here in Florida that you can find alligators and crocodiles living side by side.
Do they interbreed?
They do not interbreed because they are their own individual species.
Oh, okay. Although to us they look pretty much the same.
They do look very similar, but there are some differences between the American alligator and the American crocodile. One of which is their habitat. Most of the time alligators are going to remain in freshwater environments like marshes, swamps, ponds, and canals, where the crocodiles can actually venture into more brackish water or saltwater environments. So they typically live closer to the ocean, and here in Florida they live at the southern portion of the Everglades and even in the Florida Keys.
Ooh, so we have to be very careful when we're going into the waters in South Florida. I was taught, my first alligator handling was taught to me by a Blackfoot Native American named Martin Two Feathers, and he taught me that gators are very, very important to our southern Floridian environment. And in the news we have a lot about the Ebola outbreak in Africa, and he told me that alligators have no problem eating animals that are diseased, like the rabies, Ebola, salmonella, because their digestive system is like incredibly strong. They can digest anything and just say, thank you very much. Because a lot of the animals that are sick like that come down to the water for, you know, like especially if they have rabies and they splash around a lot because they're very thirsty, so the alligator sees them and they can eat the animal with rabies with no difficulty. So is my memory still correct?
Yep, they have wonderful digestive systems. They do swallow their prey whole, so they're eating bones, fur, feathers, whatever it is, turtle shells even. Really? So they are able to break that all down, and inside the alligators they'll actually swallow little rocks called gastroliths that help act to grind that hard material up like the bones, kind of like a gizzard of a bird.
Do they ever excrete those rocks?
I'm not quite sure whether they do or not. I know they do continuously swallow them to make sure they have enough inside their stomachs to help break down those hard materials.
Now here is a mommy alligator, and baby grunts, which is what the babies are called. Now, which one is alive? This one or this one? They kind of look exactly the same, but this one is not moving no matter what I do, and this one almost can't stop moving. So I think you're alive. You're a living being, and you're walking. Here is orange. Oh. Whoopsie. Whoops. Oh. Now you know why they're fast. I have a question. What's the difference between a lizard, a reptile, and an amphibian?
Well, lizards are a type of reptile, and reptiles are different from amphibians for a few reasons. One is what covers their skin. Amphibians, like frogs, toads, salamanders, and newts, have very smooth, usually moist skin, whereas reptiles, like the alligators, snakes, lizards, and turtles, have scaly skin.
Let me put this back.
So that's one difference between the two. Another is how they may reproduce. The amphibians usually have very jelly-like eggs that they'll lay in the water, whereas the reptiles, like this alligator, lay eggs similar to a chicken egg on land, and then they will go ahead and hatch themselves out of those hard calcified eggs.
Wow, so you're really not an amphibian. No, even though that you are living in the water most of the time. I saw you with your brother in the tank, and man, you can swim fast. I mean, you're pretty fast. Now, I've heard that alligators can run on land up to 35 miles an hour. Is that true?
Well, usually on land it's 11 miles an hour.
11, okay.
So that figure's a little high, and then in the water they do swim faster than they can run. They can swim up to about 25 miles per hour.
Well, I certainly can't run 11 miles an hour. I can't do it.
Well, hopefully you're not around an alligator on land.
Well,
but then again, they don't chase after their prey, so you're not going to be in harm's way.
What do you mean they don't chase after their prey? That's an important
They're
point.
more opportunistic feeders, so they usually wait for food to come to them. Their typical meals are going to be small animals like a bird or a turtle, a fish, a snake.
So it's not like the ice cream guy comes around. Ding, 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 ding. Here's your ice cream.
Yeah, they typically are afraid of people. They actually have a natural fear of humans, and they do not see us as a food source, so they don't want anything to do with us. But that's why it's important never to feed a wild alligator, because they start to associate food with people.
Oh, definitely.
And then they think that everybody has food to feed them, when that's typically not the case.
Now, I know that he is sweet and adorable and little, but he or she, do we know his gender? The gender?
We do not yet. Still too young to tell.
Oh, too young to tell. Girl from boy. Okay. But in any case, when this gator becomes an adult, can grow to, what, 20 feet, 30 feet?
Well, adult alligators typically grow to about 12 feet long on average for males. Females are generally smaller, and that's one way you can tell the difference, is the females don't get as big as the males. They usually get to be about 8 or 9 feet long.
So that would be, let's say 12 feet would be my arms twice.
Times 2, yep.
Right, 2 times. That's right. I've seen some full-grown gators, and I can tell you that even if they weren't going to chase me, I did not go near them. I ran away. And then there's an old tale that they tell that you have to run in a S-shaped form, and I know that that's not true. You just have to run away as fast as you can. But I also heard that they can jump into trees.
Well, they can climb, but a little bit. I mean, they're not monkeys, they're not expert climbers, but they can get over some obstacles, but they're not real good climbers of trees.
They're not, well, no, but I was thinking of, mode of escape for me.
Yeah, you'd be pretty safe to climb a tree.
Oh, okay, just and just like, no, don't come near me.
But they're usually not going to be chasing you that far or that long to be able to chase you up a tree.
Okay, they will. Now, what my friend Martin Two Feathers told me about the alligators is that if you're near where they are, living in their ponds or lakes or canals, they've already know that you're there. So if they're already not dragging you under, which is not typical for them, then you're free to move because they already know that you're there.
Mm-hmm.
So their senses are incredibly sharp for a teeny weeny little brain that they've got. Little teeny brain, but these are masters of they're masters of their world. They're the best killing machines. Their jaws have to shut before they can reopen. Is that true?
Well, they snap shut and they're very quick and have a lot of pressure, about 3,000 pounds per square inch of pressure
3,000 pounds?
when closing.
Oh, let's think that's like what? An elephant dropping from the sky very quickly. Boom!
Something like that.
Something like that. Do they shed their skins like snake?
They do shed their skin, but not all at once like a snake. So they'll shed little bits of their scales and skin every once in a while.
I have never in the wild seen pieces, skin pieces of gators.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I've been out in the wild for years and years and years, and I've just, I look around and I haven't seen anything like that. How long has the American alligator been on Earth? I know it's a long time.
Well, it's estimated that alligators have been around for over 200 million years, so they are basically living dinosaurs, and they have survived for millions of years, not because they're smart. Like you said, their brains are very small. An adult alligator's brain is only about the size of a walnut when fully grown.
A walnut. Oh.
So instead, they've used their adaptations to help them to survive for all those years. And like you said, they have very sharp, keen senses, and they are very primitive, so they know basically how to eat and how to avoid enemies or predators.
Interesting. So they really aren't like breeders or, writers or artists or, they don't have a culture.
Right, they're not going to be winning any intelligent quizzes.
And if they ran into Winnie the Pooh, they would probably eat him. Let me see. We talked about motion. Now he's actually a little bit fast, but he's not as strong as the last alligator. Is it just they just get bigger and stronger with age?
Yeah, as they grow, they're going to get develop their muscles and grow bigger and stronger. So as babies, they're very vulnerable to predators, say a raccoon or a bird of prey, like an osprey or a wading bird, even a large fish.
Yeah.
So as they get older, they get a little bit more bold.
So how old is he?
He is about 3 or turning about 4 months old now. So still,
that's it?
Still a little baby.
A 4-month-old baby. So when was he hatched? Let me see where you are.
October.
In January. Yeah. Okay. And where was he hatched from? Since I'm not touching him, I'm not going to put the thing on.
Well, we got our alligators from Bush Wildlife Sanctuary, which is in Jupiter, Florida. And the alligators are on loan to us here at DaggerWing Nature Center with a permit from the Florida Fish and Wildlife Service.
Oh, excellent. So they have a hatchery there.
They were collected there.
Oh, wow. The mother, I've heard the most extraordinary things about the mother gators are incredibly protective about their babies, because most reptiles, we understood, walk away from their babies.
That's right. The alligators are very good mothers, and they will build their nest.
Good mother.
Yeah,
wow.
Good mothers. They build their nest on shore, just at the water's edge. Usually a big pile of dirt, leaves, and sticks, and the mother alligator will lay anywhere from 20 to 60 eggs within that nest. Now she'll stand close to it for the 9 weeks that it takes to incubate or warm those eggs up, and it's just the decomposition, the temperature inside that nest mound that actually incubates the egg. It's not the actual mother animal, but it is the decomposition of that rotting material that keeps the eggs warm. And after 9 weeks,
and she puts the nest together?
She does.
She assembles all those branches. She actually goes shopping?
She does. She makes her own nest, just like a bird would make a nest.
Wow.
And then she is going to stand guard, and when she starts to hear her babies make a little barking or grunting call, that's when she knows they're ready to hatch.
So that's why they're called grunts.
And they'll come out of the nest, and she'll help dig them out of the nest with her front feet, carry them to the water in her mouth very gently, and she'll actually stay near them for another year or two, protecting them against predators.
Well, speaking of digging, I see that the front paws have longer fingers, and the back ones, even though they have 4